like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for Married to Medicine Season 5, the Part 1 reunion of Married to Medicine. I had to put on my favorite little pajama shirt. It's about 1:20 in the morning. These heifers, let me let y'all know who's gonna get read or just checked or just I'm gonna have to lay into their ass tonight. Contessa, Quad, and Heavenly, and a little bit of Jackie. I was just, outdone by some of the things. The reunion for the most part was not as exciting as I wanted it to be. It took a minute for it to kind of get interesting, honestly. I'm not going to cover everything they went through, just the important parts that I thought was interesting. The first thing that I found interesting was, one, Heavenly was talking to, everyone about how, the whole sex talk with the kids. And she was bringing up how she told her kids, at least her oldest son, to make sure not to let a female trap you, know how women act. Don't let them lie to you, because some women will have a baby by you just to trap you. I let them know, don't let them do it. Don't let them do that. Don't do like I did. Like you did. So she basically admits that she trapped her husband. Her and her Damon been married 20 years. Their son is 20. So she basically admitted that she got pregnant and trapped her husband. So because as she specifically said, don't do like I did. After she was just saying, women will lie to get this and get that. They'll then have a baby or get pregnant by you so that you have to stick around, and then they trap you. Heavenly seemed like a person who could have trapped somebody, because Heavenly batshit crazy. I'm just surprised that she was stupid enough to admit this on TV. So, but it was what it was. We then see our reviewer send in the question basically asking Toya, when Toya said that she was her husband's everything, asking Toya if she thinks Quad is everything to her husband Greg. Honey, and Toya said no, because as we see, what he's been asking for since the beginning was a child, and Quad has made it absolutely known that her main focus has always been securing her bag, not their bag, her bag, meaning she want to get her money up, because as we know, Quad don't want to be married to Greg, and let me say this too. I don't like Quad's outfit. I don't. I think Quad's outfit looks like a nylon sack that's bejeweled. I mean, I don't like that you can usually when someone has I don't know who she had designed that, it just did not look cute. It looked like she had someone cheaply make it. Honestly, it did. I think she was going for that whole Angel Brinks look. It didn't look expensive to me. It looked cheap. I don't know if it's because in the middle of her chest it was a whole line, like it was a potato sack lining, and I'm like, what? You couldn't get nobody to line that thing better than that? I didn't like her suit, her outfit. I did not like Heavenly's hair. I feel like Heavenly got a really bad lace front. What's the thing they call it? I don't wear weaves. I don't know what it's called. The front of the closure. Her closure looked crooked, like they put the closure too far to the left or maybe too far to the right. I don't know. It looked off. I like Jackie's look, and I liked Mariah's outfit, and that's about it. Anywho, Quad then says how, she tried to be his everything, but she took on so much, with her workload and, being his support system. They ended up arguing so much that it wasn't conducive to them having a child. And girl, the fuck bye. Look, I don't know what Quad do when her and Greg was going through whatever. I know she on their Sister Circle show. However, Quad make it seem as if her and Greg got 6 kids in the house that she taking care of. It is you and one other grown man. How much of a mess is y'all making to where you making it seem as if you slaving away all day cleaning up? That house always looks spotless when people is in there. Ain't no way in hell that you and Greg making such a mess. And if y'all are making such a mess, and if you working and he working, and as a wife, hire a goddamn maid. Or fuck it, as a husband, hire a goddamn maid. Quad really making it seem as if she is on the floor with her maid uniform on, with a goddamn mop bucket, mopping the floors on her hands and her knees, like she's just so much being Cinderella, and the goddamn mice talking to her like the goddamn Gus and the animals from the Cinderella. No, honey, you not. Quad is making her case seem, when she go for her divorce, I tried everything. I tell you, Judge, I tried everything, and it just didn't work. She is pleading her case in the court of public opinion. And the kicking part about it is no one is believing your ass, Quad. You ain't been out there working hard, so hard that you can't help have a baby by your husband. You have never wanted to give Greg a baby. Let's be clear about that. You can't make it seem as if you wanted to give him a baby before, and then now you don't. No, you never did. You, as Toya said, you have always been concerned with making money. That is your concern. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but you can't make it seem as if I've done so much and we started arguing, so now we can have kids. You weren't trying to have a man baby when y'all wasn't arguing. You have forever put that off. So you are not his everything, simply because all that man ever wanted from the moment y'all got married was a baby, and you ain't gonna give it to him. You knew not to give it to him. You used that man to get what you got, to get what you want, and now you have what you want. You don't need him anymore, and you make your goddamn exit strategy. That is what Quad is doing. Next, we get to be reminded of Miss Renee and her craziness. You know, they show the whole scene with her saying how she called contestant Miss Black Bitch. No, Black Doctor Bitch. And, you know, I thought to myself, did she give Miss Renee a black bitch book the same way she wanted to give Eugene a nigger book? Did she do that? My thing is, I would be more offended if my nanny calling me a black doctor bitch than someone else's husband saying, as everyone is fussing and fighting and trying to like some niggas. I am more offended by someone calling me a black doctor bitch than anything else. So for me, it's very funny how Contessa waited until the end of the season to have an issue with one single situation. You know, Contessa was bringing up how, because they also asked her how she was doing with her retirement and everything, and she says, well, actually, basically back to working. However, I don't work the hours the kids are at school. You know, I'm only working the hours when the kids are at school. And I said to myself, isn't that what Scott suggested when you said that you didn't want to work anymore because you wanted to be at home with the kids? Scott said you can make your hours be it to where you're gone from work when the kids are at home. You can change your schedule. You acted like you couldn't do that, or you did not want to do that. So my thing is, you just wanted a little bit of a break, which is, you by all means, but she said it as if it was a whole new theory to how she could do things. She said, well, I got bored when the kids was in school and I ain't had nothing to do. Well, what did you think you was going to do? What did you think? Like, Scott made that exact suggestion. He said that you can change your schedule to where you get off, you choose to work late. I think I said that too in my review when she said she was going to quit. I said, bitch, you can just make your hours work with your children's school schedule. That when they out of school, you done working. You can go from being a full-time doctor to a part-time doctor or whatever it may. But Contessa needed a storyline. Contessa did everything she could do to get a storyline. Let's be honest about that. And, she says how her and Miss Renee have not spoken since she basically left the show. And she said she kind of regrets bringing Miss Renee on the show. She tries to, this is what Contessa gonna get it from me. Contessa tried to say that there was classism, and that's why Miss Renee felt the way she felt, because she felt judged by the other people, meaning the other castmates, their mamas or whoever. Honey, and say how we're not from educated people and we're not polished. Bitch, Toya from Detroit, like me. We ain't polished up in this bitch at all. They are also, because I think they said Miami, from Tallahassee, from all these different walks of life. None of them were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. None of them are polished. None of them came from the upper echelon of people. None of them did that. And I love how Toya then said, was it Toya? Yeah, Toya called bullshit, bitch. And it's funny because Toya Contessa got brought on the show supposedly as a friend of Toya. So Toya cutting her ass to me was funny. You know, Toya said we all had parents who did not go to college and we all hang from different hoods. You know what I'm saying? She also brought up how, you know, you talking about how it was classism and we were judging Miss Renee, which isn't true at all. She said Miss Renee called you a black bitch and was acting crazy and you seemed okay with that. What the fuck, lady? You know, we see how Simone said, you know, they couldn't even comment on Miss Renee's educational history because they didn't even know if she went to college or not, point blank and period. Saying, you know, we didn't know anything about her. And then we even see Mariah bring up saying how the comments that were made about Miss Renee and her antics was basically in defense of Contessa because everyone was offended by the things Renee was saying about Contessa. So my thing is, Contessa tried some fakery and some fuckery and some bullshit and she tried to spin it into a goddamn pie and no one was eating it. Because I'm like, you making it seem as if Miss Renee was rude and mean and nasty, or she was off-putting and drunk-ish and just acting a damn plumby fool because she felt like she was out of place with doctors. They didn't make her feel any kind of way. They felt some kind of way because of how she was acting. Okay, that's what it was. So my thing is, Contessa be trying to spin stories and make things fit to how she want to fit, and the shit don't fit. If as Cochran said, if it don't fit, you must have quit, and you need to leave it be and leave well enough alone because wasn't no goddamn classism at all. They be fussing and fighting, and arguing, talking shit about each other. Ain't no classism at all. Miss Renee was just crazy. You said her ass was colorful, meaning she was crazy. You can't then blame her antics on other people. Bullshit, Contessa, girl, please. You know. In my mind, Contessa's fake. Okay, and she's fake. Contessa is put on for the cameras. Contessa know her regular life wasn't good enough or entertaining enough. So let me cause some ruckus and some drama and some let me stir the pot a little bit to have me come back next season. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how you not offended by someone calling you a black doctor bitch, but Eugene need a whole book because y'all was acting like niggas? Girl, the fuck bye. You can't tell me that you were more offended by Eugene than Contessa. I mean, than Miss Renee. Miss Renee called you bitches, called you a bitch in front of a whole bunch. She called you a bitch. She called you a bitch. Eugene didn't call y'all niggas. She said y'all was acting. He said y'all was acting like them. So my thing is, Contessa's full of fakery and fuckery and bullshit because she playing a role. And now she's playing this role of, I'm offended by these things that are offensive, but you wasn't offended earlier in the season. Can't fool me, Contessa. You know, we see the next scene of them talking about Toya and Eugene paying off their tax bill. Toya bring up how, you know, Eugene, the tax bill is paid off. Eugene has a better position. He is not working as many hours. He does work closer to home. And they are having more and more sex now. You know, they bring up Contessa and her little snotty ass, snooty ass, punk ass remarks regarding Toya's party. And Toya was honest, like, you know, she was talking shit from the minute she walked in. She walked in talking about the goddamn red carpet. You know, Toya bring up, and which I thought was a valid point, our tax situation was all in the news. Our friends talked about it. It was public knowledge. She said, so yes, we wanted to have a party to celebrate that we paid the shit off. Again, as I said in my review before, I didn't see a problem with that. People have parties for all kind of, people have parties for people coming home from prison. People have parties for people who go to prison. People have parties for people who got 18 kids. People have parties for whatever reason they want to have parties for. And I don't think a person celebrating paying off a debt that was hanging over their head is stupid, and it's their fucking prerogative. If you didn't like the point of the party, you didn't have to come. And Contessa was saying how, you know, well, you just pay, it was only taxes, it was only IRS taxes, that's nothing. She then said, it's not like you paid your mortgage off, your mortgage ain't paid off. I would have been like, bitch, neither is yours. We know yours ain't paid off because when you told Scott that you wanted to quit your job, he said, well, you should have said that before we got this big ass expensive house, meaning y'all ain't done paying for it. If the house was paid for, he wouldn't care about what your income was. My thing is, don't throw stones to my goddamn unpaid house, bitch. Your house is unpaid for too. That would have been my response, just mine. But I don't think Toya really heard her saying it, even though she said it twice. And my thing is, you can't tease someone because their house isn't paid off. You know, is everybody's house on that show paid off? I don't think it is. And people get into mortgages it's a difference between paying off $170,000 to the IRS versus paying off a couple of million for a house. It's a difference. And when you have two big bills and you have to choose to pay which big bill, I would pay the IRS first. Because if I don't pay the IRS, they can take my fucking house. Okay? And I feel like contestants want just judgmental ass, but when she sees fit to be judgmental, to make it fit her narrative, and I ain't for it. Contestants fake and phony. I'm telling y'all, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I just feel like she trying to be the new Heavenly a little bit. I do. So they then bring up Heavenly and her spiritual journey. Heavenly not on no damn spirit. Look, can't nobody tell me that Heavenly is on a spiritual journey. If Heavenly is on a spiritual journey, it's a journey from she got to be walking from New York to California. It's gonna be a long journey walking them steps, baby, because she just doesn't. Heavenly is mean, Heavenly is crude, Heavenly is nasty when she wants to be. I believe Heavenly is also nice when she wants to be, but Heavenly don't seem like a person on no goddamn spiritual walk with God. She doesn't, and I get that when you on a spiritual walk with God, you have falls and there are hills and valleys and peaks, and there's all kinds of stuff that you go through with your walk. But Heavenly ain't walked not in a straight line since we seen her on the show. She has not. She not, being walking a straight line and then falling off a little bit. She keep falling. She consistently, she's falling on her, she walking. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it's stupid. Toya bring up how Heavenly always teases her about her weight, cut to the thing of her saying, Toya fat, Toya ass big, Toya so big this, Toya so big that, which to me is weird because Heavenly was a plus size person. And I'm a plus size girl, as y'all know. I don't talk about other fat people. I don't. Who the fuck am I to talk about them? And I think it's a way that you can speak about someone else's body type and not be mean, rude, and nasty. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between making an observation and being judgmental, rude, and being a bitch. Heavenly be being judgmental, but she be being rude, she be being a bitch. Toya then brings up, what she may not know is, I had an eating disorder. I used to be, throwing up all the time. I was taking diet pills. I had liposuction on my butt. I thought my butt was too big. Just saying how people don't realize how unhappy she was with how she looked, and probably based on just things of how people sometimes don't like how they look and they do different things. And Heavenly starts saying, well, I was just joking. If y'all want me to quit, stop joking, let me know. And my thing is, it's a thin line between a joke and you trying to be offensive. You wasn't joking with her. You were not at all. There's never a joke when you say her ass, she's so fat. That's not fucking funny. You know what I'm saying? It's not funny. And anyone who says, well, I said she fat, I thought that was funny. Why? That's like saying, oh, if you see someone who's extremely dark skinned, damn, you black. That's not funny. It's not a joke. Damn, you skinny. It's not funny. It's not a joke. Some people don't like others to speak on how they look. You know what I'm saying? In a negative way. And as human beings, you should respect that and know that. Especially Heavenly, who said that she was teased when she was younger for being bigger. So why would you then grow up and be a goddamn bully yourself? Because you're a goddamn bully yourself. So, Jackie then tried to take up for Heavenly. And I had a big issue with this because Heavenly never acknowledged that what she said hurt Toya's feelings and just fucking up. She could have said, I was joking, but my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. She just kept saying, well, I was joking. But my thing is, people can't just say I'm joking and feel like you don't have to fucking apologize because you thought it was funny. That ain't the point. The point isn't if you were joking or not. The point is if what you said offended someone, you need to apologize. Jackie said how, well, I've been to church with Heavenly and people don't get to see her other side. And, sometimes, Toya, you call yourself, fat or whatever, so we don't know when to not joke with you. Jackie, I call bullshit because you should know as a doctor, that's just, Jackie sometimes be on some bullshit too because she at times allow people to get away with their bullshit because I feel like she don't like what the other person is talking about, because she tried to say how Toya was playing victim. Toya wasn't playing victim. She was saying, y'all said something that hurt my feelings and this is me telling y'all that in whatever way. And for them to not acknowledge that what they said was fucking offensive was some fucking bullshit. Because when Toya then said, well, Jackie, is that why you said it too? Cut to Jackie and them in New Orleans when she says, looking at Toya, I have stopped eating. You called her fat and saying that you basically don't look like how she looked and you don't want to look like her, so you stop eating. That wasn't nice. She didn't appreciate it. Sometimes you have to just hear someone say, I ain't appreciate it, it hurt my feelings, and apologize and move the fuck on. When you try to defend your actions to make you seem like the more of an asshole. And no, Jackie nor Heavenly acknowledged Toya's feelings. Like, I ain't saying Toya has not talked about her own weight, but that's her weight. That's her weight. At times, a person is allowed to speak on themselves how they want. The same way I can tease my best friend and call my best friend a bitch if I choose to. But bitch, you bet not do it. I can jokingly say, my mama's so crazy. You bet not do it. I can jokingly say, I'm a fat ass bitch. You bet not say it. It's completely different. You can't say things to me that I say to myself because you're not me. You know what I'm saying? And it might sound crazy, but that's just how life is sometimes. So, I did not like how they said how Toya was trying to play the victim. They say, how, well, Toya, you say stuff about us too. Again, you're deflecting from how someone feels. It's the same way if someone teased Jackie and said, well, Jackie, you flat-chested. She won't find that funny because she would say, well, I had breast cancer. So what? They think you flat-chested. You have to acknowledge when you say something to someone that hurts their feelings. And just say, you know what? Didn't mean it. I'm sorry. My bad. And then keep it fucking moving. So, Toya then says, all I'm asking for y'all to not say something to me that y'all wouldn't want me to say to y'all. They always go my goddamn nerve at that point. Heavenly and Mariah. This is when shit got crazy. Heavenly brings up how when Mariah was saying at the party at Contessa's house, Damon, get your wife, which is a simple sentence. Heavenly said how that was her trigger because she doesn't like anyone bringing her husband into her situations. I don't feel like Mariah was bringing Damon into their situation. I think Mariah realized this shit getting real hot and it's getting real hot here. Damon, get her. Because it can escalate. And I feel like sometimes a person does that to de-escalate something. It's like, hey, I'm getting pissed off. I'm finna fuck your wife up. Get your goddamn wife. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't as if she said, fuck you, Damon, your wife ain't shit. She just said, get your wife. Dude, get your wife. Get your wife, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it was. And Mariah was saying, well, I always felt like, parents and children were off limits. But however, she's consistently making jokes about my mom. Heavenly, like, we all know I joke about mothers. Again, Heavenly taking that she jokes about stuff and people should just let her joke about stuff. You can't joke about certain stuff. It's the truth. If someone called your daughter a funny looking little girl, but it's a joke, you still offended. Point blank period. We then see Andy ask, well, Mariah, is it fair for you to say that your mama off limits, considering the fact that your mother has said and done things to the ladies on the cast? What I liked Mariah's response. Mariah said, no, she isn't off limits. However, I would prefer if they come to me and say, get your mama. Get your mama because she didn't did or said something wrong. I feel like that's a safe way to handle things. Is that going to make Miss Lucy stop saying crazy shit? No, it's not at all. Miss Lucy going to say what the fuck she want to say. However, I get her saying, respect the fact that that's my mother and talk to me about it. Let me check her. I probably can't make my mama shut up. But when you address my mama, it makes it worse. Because if you disrespect my mother, then we have an issue, okay? And I know that sounds like a double standard, but I'm the same way. My mother can do no wrong. I don't care if she does wrong. But my mom was a sweetheart, so this would never happen with my mom. But yeah, I got Mariah's point of saying, talk to me and have me talk to her. I don't think Mariah would check her mom at all. Let's be honest. But I can understand her saying, let me try to. You know what I'm saying? Heavenly then brings up, her mama said she was going to shoot me. She going to kill me. I'm like, when the fuck did she say that? Cut to a live that Mariah did. And Mariah saying, mama don't play. You know what I'm saying? My mama will shoot you, girl. That was a complete joke. Now, that's was a joke. It might have been a serious joke. Her mama might really shoot someone, but it was a joke. She made it seem as if Miss Lucy was on camera saying, Heavenly, when I see you, I'ma shoot you, cut you up, and put you in a basket. It was Mariah saying something. And so I'm like, technically Mariah said it. So technically her mom didn't say it. Then not Mariah, Heavenly like, she's a fucking liar. She's a liar, isn't she? Contessa, ain't she a liar? She got 40 Twitter accounts, and she be up all night talking about I'm pimping my daughter. No, I'm pimping you. I'm looking like, when you become a pimp? I was just utterly confused. She was yelling with that high pitched ass voice. She then asked Quad, because Contessa said, I ain't gonna do this. Leave me out of it. Quad then said, yeah, she's a liar. You can't include Quad in the thing to judge Mariah. They don't like each other. So I don't care what Quad has to say. Quad and Mariah do not get along. Quad then says how, you can't be on Facebook Live doing these 40-minute dissertations, talking shit about the ladies. That's just crazy. And I said to myself, yes, the fuck she can. Solely because what Mariah's doing is the same thing I'm doing right now. After an episode airs and she gets to see what y'all have said, she's responding accordingly. She's responding to what y'all said in each episode. She has every right to do that. Hell, y'all could too. If you did it, you could make some review money. Let's just say. But y'all won't. And I don't think it's wrong for her to do that. I think she's reviewing the episode from her point of view, from what was done on the show. And if on the show you calling me a punk ass bitch, I'ma say something back to you, even though we might not be in that space now. I'm commenting on the episode. So I feel like them saying, I can't believe she be going Facebook Live for 40 minutes. Well, bitches, it's our show. So she's talking for as long as the episode is. So from there, they all kind of arguing, fussing, all being loud. So they kind of take a little lunch break. And, everybody go like, okay, break. They all go their separate ways. So we see the ladies going to their dressing room. They, going through the hallways. We see Mariah going to her room. Now, Mariah had a big picture of herself on her door. I guess to let everybody know that was her dressing room. That's her prerogative. Heavenly come with a marker and draws a mustache, messes up her teeth, put horns, basically makes her to be a devil. And I didn't find it funny. Let me just say that. I found it petty. I found it childish. I thought it was some bullshit. I felt like it was a reason to where if Mariah wants to go back and trip Heavenly and make her fall down some goddamn stairs, hey, it was a joke. You know what I'm saying? Heavenly does things and she calls it a joke. Heavenly is a mean girl. Heavenly is 100% a bully when she wants to be. And she had behind that, it's a joke. Bitch, no, it's not. Let me tell you this. I would have cussed Heavenly the fuck out the moment I saw it on my goddamn own door. I would have cussed Heavenly out from the top of her head to the goddamn tips of her toes. I would say, fuck you, your mama, your kids, your daddy, your uncle, your cousin. I would have went to the top and the bottom of every. I would have been, oh, look. Seeing Heavenly do that pissed me off solely because it was so petty, so childish, and so unnecessary. It was a typical mean girl. I don't like you. And I feel like Heavenly and Quad agreed to team up against Mariah for the reunion. I really feel they had that conversation. So you know what? We're going to make sure that we're going to kind of take her to task. We're going to kind of tag team her because we don't like her. That's what they did. You took your grown ass DDS degree having, 2 kids having, calling your husband daddy motherfucking ass to that lady door and drew a devil design on her picture. Mariah sees it. She don't find it funny. No one finds it funny. Quad and Heavenly loud. Well, whatever. We don't. It's a whole bunch of yelling and screaming. I can't remember what was being said. I remember hearing Heavenly say something to the aspect of, "Well, your mama threatened to shoot me." What the fuck does A have to do with B? Her mama didn't threaten shit. Mariah made a joke saying her mom about that life is what she did. That was a joke. It might have been inappropriate, but it was a fucking joke. But you putting out her door to antagonize that girl was stupid, petty, and show how you are a piece of shit when it comes to being a fucking adult in any goddamn situation, heavily. And you pissed me the fuck off. You know, even seeing Quad Monkey ass getting up in Mariah's face. If I was Mariah, I would have dead cocked her in her fucking forehead. I would have nudged that bitch so goddamn hard on her fucking forehead. Cause how dare you get up in my face and you want to cuss and yell and fuss? Y'all are adult women. And what's the killer part about it is I get they gonna have disagreements and they gonna have arguments. I completely get that. But to go and do that petty childish bullshit was stupid. Because my thing is, you don't joke with people you're not friends with. Bitch, we ain't cool. We don't like each other. You don't joke with me. I've had to tell people that. And we not cool, you can't joke with me. If you walk in, when I'm at work and people who are just my coworker, if I'm in there talking to a friend and I'm laughing and kicking and somebody walk in and I'm not like, we not friends or whatever, I will stop laughing because you're not included in this moment. So I don't want you to come in and feel like, oh girl, what you laughing at? Not with you. What you need? Okay, there you go. Bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? You can't joke with people you're not cool with like that. And I felt like Heavenly was a piece of shit for even... It was just so dumb as a fucking child. It was so dumb and so goddamn childish. And that mean girl shit. Look, it just pissed me off. You know, the last scene that we see... You know, Jackie talking about how it was hard for her to deal with showing her marital issues on the season. We see Quad saying how things with her and Greg are tough and they trying to fix their issues. Bitch, you lying. Y'all ain't fixing Quad and Greg gonna be divorced by the end of next season. Let's say that. You know, then we see Simone, who comes up in the midst, what we all know to be true now, that her and Cecil are getting divorced, saying how they spent all the time getting their oldest son off to college, how they kind of had basically put everything and everyone before their marriage. And then at one moment they had a very, very big argument and they separated. And they filed for divorce, and two, now only they filed for divorce. The divorce will be final in a couple weeks. And everybody's surprised. Are you? I can't believe it. And Quad looking like she finna cry. Quad cried too goddamn much. Girl, look, I just, am I surprised? Yes, I am. Well, I would have been surprised had the information not leaked before I saw the reunion. But, that's how the episode went off. We can see more of what happened with it next week. But as I said, Quad pissed me off. Definitely Heavenly, you know what I'm saying? Quad pissed me off just with the whole helping Heavenly kind of go against Mariah. Heavenly pissed me off because she was a goddamn mean girl. And I hate when adults do things that's so petty and pointless. It means you are like just stupid. And I'm not with that mean girl mentality. I don't like stuff like that. I feel like when you're an adult, if you don't like someone, you just don't deal with them. But to do some hoe ass shit like that and draw a guy, and it's a devil. I'm not a person who likes to, don't draw no devil on my picture. Not no devil. You can draw a pig, you can draw a unicorn, you can draw a anteater, you can draw whatever, a hippo, you can draw whatever you want to. Don't put no devil or demonic stuff on me at all. Don't do that. And I feel like her doing that with some hoe ass shit. And that's how I know she ain't walking with God. Okay, she isn't. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back next with another review shortly. As you guys always know, I'm always here. But I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.